Well, hello, how's it going? War, terror, Hezbollah are what people usually associate with the tiny country of Lebanon. And as much as these subjects are certainly relevant to shaping the country's history and political presence, there is so much more to this country in the Middle East. Contrary to popular belief, there is no sand desert in Lebanon. There are no camels strolling around. But the mountainous region bordering the Mediterranean Sea is home to a very diverse population, different ethnicities and religions. It bears a history of over 5,000 years and is neighbor of Israel and Syria. Lebanon used to be called the Switzerland of the Middle East. Unfortunately, this title seems no longer valid. The Civil War from 75 to 1990 left deep scars and fueled the everlasting corruption that has driven the whole country into deep trouble. Tensions with Israel, Hezbollah-controlled areas with strong bonds to the Iranian government, a severe inflation in the past months, high unemployment rates, coronavirus, and the explosion in August are mounting and pushing the state further into the uncertain abyss. Nevertheless, there are great things to report on, namely the people. As much as they have been troubled, they remain unbroken and in a way united. I have only visited a few times, and my judgment of the Lebanese people's lives is of course from me, being someone whose home hasn't been destroyed or whose savings weren't frozen. But the objective sensation to be welcomed in this country has no monetary value. The greatest project I have gotten to witness has no monetary value either, but is purely based on passion. Passion for veganism. A hospital where you don't wake up to disgusting cheap bacon and rotten udder juice, but to a plate of life, that is, a vegan dish. The Al Hayek Hospital, located in Sin El Fil, was founded in 1974 by Dr. Salim Hayek, 1 year prior to the Civil War, during which it burned down to the ground twice. After Dr. Salim Hayek, it was taken over by his son and gynecologist, Dr. Georges Hayek, who successfully handled it for years and passed the hospital on to his son, also named Georges, who today is in charge of the hospital. Georges is the heir of Yusuf al-Hayek, a martyr who was hung by the Ottoman Empire in 1915, and today has a roundabout named after him. Georges, like me, has been vegan for 7 years and is on a mission to convert the hospital into an entirely vegan place. He started by turning the cafeteria vegan, giving local Lebanese businesses the chance to offer their products and selling delicious, fresh meals that are being prepared in the cafeteria's kitchen. You would not expect this from a hospital, but this truly is a place to feel comfortable. Very well, thank you. Of course, the enjoyment differs from a person that is hospitalized with a deadly disease. But to Georges, it is not only his mission to switch the hospital's menu to a vegan one, but also to create an atmosphere within the staff that may have your stay easier than at a conventional hospital where you are treated as a number. Lebanon has a rich, utterly delicious cuisine that has a worldwide reputation. What many people, including the Lebanese themselves, don't realize is that traditional Lebanese food very oftentimes happens to be vegan by default. It therefore seems odd that the vegan Lebanese community is still small, but definitely it's growing. Georges founded a non-profit organization, Lebanese Vegans, a few years back and has been using the hospital to push the importance of veganism. Of course, being a hospital, the patient's health is the primary objective of the doctors. But by using the hospital's auditorium for regular events, speeches, and movie screenings, visitors, nurses, doctors, patients, and virtually anyone is subjected to the true reasons to turn vegan, namely the love for all animals. The hospital employs as many as 150 doctors, of which certainly only a fraction are vegan themselves. But the hospital is doing the only logical thing any hospital should do. Why feed your patients food for which animals were tortured and murdered, and which even propels the deadly diseases for which many patients were hospitalized in the first place? The all-around humane and progressive approach that can be found at this hospital is truly magnificent. It is the very first of its kind in Lebanon, and I dare say in the whole Middle East. It should be the blueprint for many other hospitals to follow, putting aside a rigid, outdated approach to feed patients dead, rotten flesh and animal secretions. If you are in Lebanon and consider yourself an animal lover, I highly recommend to visit this place and have a glimpse at what a hospital should be looking like. I guarantee you won't be disappointed if you're enjoying yourself with a manushi zatar with vegan labni. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.